What I do, and what I recommend that you do, is wash your produce. When you go to the grocery store and buy all the healthy food in the produce section, plant-based foods, which you should definitely be eating, what you want to do before you prepare and eat it is wash it under cold running water for at least 60 seconds. What I do in my house is grab one of those big metal mixing bowls, the kind that are deep and wide, and put my fruits and vegetables in there, then fill it up and let the water run. Just make sure you don't overload it so the water can actually get in and wash everything out. You'll be amazed at the dirt that comes off your food, dirt that's been on it since the farm, then in the box it was shipped in, maybe on a train, a plane, or a truck, then in the back of the grocery store, and finally loaded onto the shelf where you bought it. Even at a farmer's market, you've got residue on there that you actually want to wash off. 60 seconds of cold running water will take care of most of it. And according to USDA guidelines, it will also wash bacteria off most foods. Most foods will have had some contact with plastic somewhere along the journey from the field to your plate, so washing is your opportunity to clean that off too. While you're at it, avoid storing or even buying your food in plastic. Skip the plastic bags in the produce section and instead bring a reusable cloth bag. It's more sustainable, better for the environment, and instead of constantly buying plastic and throwing it away, which winds up somewhere we don't want it, including potentially in your body, you reuse the same bag. It's better for the planet and better for your body. Another thing to ditch is the plastic food storage container. I used to have them all over my house. I grew up with them. My mom would say how convenient they were, inexpensive, lightweight, strong, colorful, easy to stack. That was then. This is now. We know today that plastic food storage containers shed plastic right into the food. The lid, however, is actually okay. What I recommend is getting a glass bowl, like a Pyrex bowl, or a metal one, and using a plastic top is fine as long as it's not directly contacting the food. For thin-skinned produce like apples or cucumbers, if you have a soft brush, not a plastic one, but one with natural bristles, or a bamboo scraper, rinse the produce, brush it off, and then dry it with a clean, real cloth towel. Not one of those plastic microfiber towels, but a real cotton towel. These are things we didn't used to think about much, but if you go back to how our parents and grandparents lived, they always dried things with a towel. They washed their food, and they didn't have plastic containers to store things in. It's frankly impossible to avoid all microplastics because we even breathe them in the air. Tires spinning on the road flake off plastic constantly, and it turns out that's one of the biggest sources of microplastics, and we're just inhaling it. But every step you can take knowingly about the way you buy your food, the way you wash it, the way you store it, and the cookware and utensils you use. Don't cook with a plastic spatula, get wood or metal. Every one of those steps will lower your exposure, and that can make a real difference over time. Now let's talk about some really exciting things that have been discovered. Because now that we're zeroing in on microplastics, researchers are also trying to figure out ways to actually get rid of them. Scientists have looked at what happens when microplastics are already in your food and you're eating them. Is there something you could eat alongside that food to actually help prevent microplastics from getting into your bloodstream? The answer is yes, and that something is dietary fiber. Dietary fiber is beneficial for us for several reasons already. First, it keeps your bowels moving so you stay more regular. Second, and more importantly, dietary fiber feeds your healthy gut bacteria. Good gut health is critical, and when those bacteria are well fed, they release substances called short-chain fatty acids into your bloodstream that lower inflammation, improve brain health, improve metabolism, and help your body heal faster. Fiber also lowers cholesterol. And now, new research from Hainan University in China suggests that dietary fiber can actually help flush out microplastics from the body. There are 3 specific ways fiber helps your body deal with microplastics. The first is that fiber, when you're eating it, binds directly to microplastics already inside your gut. So as you're eating regular food and inevitably consuming some plastic, the fiber from your food sticks to those microplastic particles, so they don't get absorbed into your bloodstream. The second way is that dietary fiber strengthens the lining of your gut. Think of your gut as a tube, about 40 feet of it from your mouth to your anus, and the lining of that tube needs to be strong. When it's not strong, gaps open up in the lining and the contents from the inside start leaking out. That's called leaky gut, and it's actually more common than we used to think. As a doctor, I can tell you we weren't really taught about it in medical school, but now we're realizing how prevalent it is. Dietary fiber tightens that lining up, which means less leaky gut and less chance that any microplastics sitting inside your gut will dissolve out through those gaps. The fiber binds to the microplastics, keeps them moving through, and you eliminate them. The third way is that fiber feeds your gut bacteria, and those bacteria help your body counter any microplastics that do manage to get into your bloodstream. Plastics can cause inflammation, as I mentioned, and well-fed gut bacteria will work to lower that inflammation. So if any microplastics are causing a problem, your dietary fiber feeds your gut microbiome, which then counters the inflammation. In short, fiber blocks, removes, and protects against microplastics. And that alone is a powerful reason to be eating more of it. Here are my pro tips on how to protect yourself against microplastics based on everything we've covered. Eat a diet that is very fiber-rich. Fruits, vegetables, mushrooms, avocados, legumes like white beans, black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, and lentils are all great sources of dietary fiber. Whole grains are good for many reasons, and this is another one. The fiber in them can actually help protect you against the harms of microplastics. Nuts and seeds. Tree nuts like walnuts, pecans, almonds, pistachios, macadamia, and Brazil nuts all provide dietary fiber that protects you against microplastics, among their many other benefits. Soluble fiber found in oats, flaxseeds, lentils, apples, day-old rice that's been refrigerated, and baked potatoes that have been refrigerated. These convert regular starch into resistant starch, which then feeds the gut microbiome and is effective at binding toxins, including microplastics. Another thing you can do is stay hydrated. Our bodies are made up of anywhere from 50 to 70% water, and you want to stay very well hydrated. The dietary fiber that protects you works best when you have enough hydration, because hydration keeps everything moving smoothly. Your digestion, your blood flow, all of it. Get a water filter to make sure your water is actually clean. And when it comes to getting your fiber, it's best to get it from food rather than supplements. And it's best to mix it up. Your gut bacteria thrive on variety. They don't want the same source of fiber every single time. A diverse diet supports a diverse and healthy gut microbiome, which lowers inflammation, which is exactly the counterbalance your body needs against anything microplastics might be doing. To bring everything together, avoid microplastics where you can by avoiding plastic containers, plastic bags, plastic bottles, plastic cooking utensils, plastic plates, and plastic cups. Next time you're at a game or a party, think about those red plastic cups and try to avoid them. Eat more fiber to help flush out any microplastics that do end up in your food. Because you can't avoid all of it, but you can lower the risk. And when it comes to heavy metals like cadmium, lead, arsenic, and mercury in your water, try steeping some tea. Drinking tea gives you beneficial polyphenols that lower inflammation, improve metabolism, support brain health, benefit gut health, and may even help starve cancers by cutting off their blood supply. And now there's another reason to drink tea. Steeping black tea, powdered tea, or tea in a cellulose bag can actually bind to heavy metals in the water and pull them out. These are practical steps, simple things we can do that can genuinely benefit our health.